Everyone, I hope you all are doing well. And I am Shalini and welcome to my channel. In this video lecture, I will be discussing about matriarchy and patriarchy with respect to Indian society. So, we all know India has traditionally been a male dominated society where women and their bodies have been subjected to physical and mental atrocities in their routine lives. So, the growth of any nation is judged not only in terms of the economic growth and its statistical factors, but also it depends upon the crime rates in the social sphere as well. So, this Indian map is representing the patriarchy index as it was recorded in 2015 to 16. So, highest color gradient is showing the higher patriarchy in the system. Now we will discuss about the concept of patriarchy. So according to Oxford Dictionary, patriarchy could be defined as a system of society or government in which the father or the eldest male is the head of the family and descent is reckoned through the male line. In simple words, we can say patriarchy is a social system or social organization where the eldest male member or father, okay, is a head over the other family members, women, children. Okay, so this is patriarchy. And in these images we can show that he also act as a protective person and protect the family members, have a protective role, and also he take indirectly or directly control over the on the decision making or towards the final approval on any of the situation or condition. So just showing the control or decision making over the other family members. So, patriarchy is the term which is used to describe the society in which we live today, characterized by current and historic unequal power relation and distribution among the women and men, whereby women are systematically disadvantaged and oppressed. Now, what are the features and characteristics of Indian patriarchy? So, in Indian patriarchy system, male dominance we can see in a patriarchal system. Men make all decisions at both the personal as well as societal level, at the public or personal level. Then, protecting the authority of men. Patriarchal society such as India's work towards safeguarding the interest of patriarch. And then the discrimination against women, one of the most key features of a patriarchal society, lies in its discrimination against women. Traditional belief and stereotype regarding the women's role in the society. The female child in India is often deprived of her right to education due to traditional belief regarding the role they are expected to play in the family as an institution of the society. So we can actually we can realize that from in the previous time there was not much focus was given to the girls education. Okay, so constructing notions of masculinity and femininity, so these two features are only representing the physical strength or characteristic of both the genders, so which explains the concept of gender include the expectations held about the attitude, characteristics and likely behavior of both men and women. Okay, now after patriarchy and its features, and we will discuss about matriarchy. So just opposite to of that, it is also a type of social organization where the oldest or elder female members of the family or in a society is leading or controlling or means head over the other members or other family members. Okay, so female is a head of the family and descent and relationship are reckoned through the female line, government or ruled by a women or women. So matriarchy fundamentally means a society wherein the power is held by and passed on the female members of the family at an individual as well as societal level. So in a matriarchal society, women primarily hold the power, as in the case of patriarchy. The power was held by the eldest male members. So here the women primarily hold the power, predominate the realms of employment in decision making process, control over the property within the academic discipline of cultural anthropology. Now, after patriarchy and matriarchy, the another terminology is included in this concept is metrilineal and petrilineal. So metrilineal and petrilineal is, these terms are restricted towards only these are divided on the basis of it usually determines who will inherit the property on a person's death. So matrilineal means which restrict the group membership to only those related through mothers and their mothers. Okay, so it will be the property rights and property will be transferred from mother to her daughter and then pass on to the next generation in this way only. And patrilineal descent limit group membership to those who share relationship through fathers to son and then his son. So in this way it will be passed on to the next generation only if these terms are divided on the basis of the transfer of property or who will inherit the property after a person's death. Okay, so now there are some examples of matriarchy and matrilineal society in the country or in the world. Actually, in India only. Meghalaya is a state in which the Khasi community where this kind of matrilineal society exists. Okay, so matrilineal society, as we have discussed, it is restricted to the group of membership to only those related through mothers and their mothers. So the property will be inherited from mother to her then to her daughter. Okay, so this kind of matrilineal society exists there, and at the world level there are different communities where the matriarchy exists, like in China, which is very famously known community, Mozo community, and then Minangkabau community in Indonesia, Kino Island where the matriarchy exists in Estonia, then Umoja is also a community in Kenya where matriarchy exists. Okay, now it is important to discuss here about after discussing matriarchy and patriarchy concept, because these social organization creates gender gaps and gender inequality. So in a country like India where predominantly the patriarchy system is exist, so here it is important to discuss about the women contribution and gender roles in family and society. So that is why I have taken some important points here in this presentation. So value of women's contribution to the national wealth is very important to mention about the support work which is performed by women in a family. Support work generated by the demands of the income earning activities by other family or household members. Support work can also include the training of children. This can include physical well-being, educating children, health, taking care of their health and grandparents, hygiene, cleanliness, okay, and presentation of the self. Support work can range from consoling a child to make him or her feel better. So this kind of work on behalf of women is always neglected and overlooked. Okay, and various international agencies indicated that women's status is very low in developing countries as compared to developed ones. So the basis of women's problem in the developing region is mainly gender biased socialization and prevalence of the system of patriarchy, which limit and confine women to subordinate roles. So patriarchal structure perpetuate the enduring gaps between the opportunities available to men and women. So this kind of social organization and discrimination is generally creates a huge gender gap, as well as it restricts women towards means losing their self-esteem, respect, as well as it creates lots of violence and lack of representation among the women. Okay, so these kind of gaps are created on this in this type of social organization. So in the factual statistical data we can observe during the study which was conducted in 2015, in one of the Indian report. During the last 3 years, 24,771 dowry deaths have been reported from across the country, with Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh witnessing the highest instance examples of dowry deaths. As per the National Crime Records Bureau data, the country has recorded 3.48 lakh cases of cruelty by husband or his relatives, and West Bengal tops the chart with 61,259, and such cases in the past 3 years, followed by Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh. This particular data is taken from the Pioneer. Okay, in 2015, the Crime Bureau 2015 report highlights there were 59,277 cases of kidnapping, abduction, and molestation cases were reported. 24,000 nearly 24,000 of cases were reported of sexual harassment, and then cases of rape and cruelty by husbands and other relatives. So because, and despite of the enactment of Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act of 2005. Okay, so these studies were reported in the year 2015. So such kind of violence negatively affects girls' life, their ability to access to education and performance in this school. So despite such higher participation by women, and overall status of women remains to be unchanged, political, ideological, and cultural factors cause increasing marginalized women despite their high rate of work participation in the family, in farms. Okay, so their participation in decision making, production, distribution, representation, and village developmental activity have not changed till now also in some of the areas, and the hold of patriarchal values is so strong among the peasant community that the provisions under the Hindu Succession Act 1956 providing women equal right over parental property remain on paper only. So we can also see some research data, survey research data, which was conducted in 2020 and published by this Pew Research Center in March 2022. This research center is basically a lobbying and a think tank, which is a US-based NGO, which generally conduct the research studies on these type of social issues and gender parity. So this particular report is showing how Indian views gender roles in families and society. This particular graph is representing that most Indians see women and men as equal good political leaders. Only 55% agrees towards this notion, and 14% of people think that women make better political leaders than men, and men make better political leaders than women. Only it was agreed by 25%. Now, Indians agree with the notion that wife should obey husband. It was agreed by net around 64%, and mostly agreed like 24% in this notion. So nearly 3/4 of adults in India say both men and women should make the financial decision in a family, which is about 73% people agree to this, and 62% agree on the for in front of taking care of children and earning money is also like both men and women should equally participate in this. And 4 in 10 Indians say it is acceptable to balance the gender makeup of family via modern methods. So it was completely acceptable by 26% of people who were surveyed in this study, and somewhat acceptable by 14%, and then completely unacceptable like 42% people according to this. So about a quarter of Indians say women in the country face a lot of discrimination on the basis of gender, on the basis of religion, caste. So this kind of ratios are represented in this chart. Now the conclusion of this discussion is the purpose of looking at gender is not to divide women and men, causing conflict between them. Rather, it draws our attention to those issues that have brought about unequal relations and allow us to address these issues with appropriate measures, and that will help reduce these inequality. Okay, and what is needed today is attitudinal change in the gender role that have long been reinforced in the patriarchal realm. So hope you like this video lecture. If you like this video, please like and subscribe my channel and also share with your near ones. Thank you so much for your time.